Pay it forward. I think that the lesson here is to always make time for coffee. When we were young and starting our careers, we had some great mentors that always were willing to make time for coffee. In 2014, the Statesman did a really nice story on our fundraising firm and the successes we had. The 2014 election cycle, for those of you that were paying attention, you saw Colorado shift dramatically and turn a little bit more red than it had been previously. And we like to think that we had a huge part in doing that. And, you know, the reason why we were able to do that and have success is because of all those people that opened their doors and gave us advice. But now, you know, now in our role, we always make sure that we make time to do that for up-and-coming entrepreneurs, up-and-coming fundraisers. And we always say that we need to pay it forward.
This slide is a quote by Sheryl Sandberg: "Until women are as ambitious as men, they're not going to achieve as much as men." And I think we really had to psych ourselves up to bill like boys. And we are an all-female firm. It's not by design. It just
we
so
have a
happened
former
that
male
way.
intern.
Yeah,
here,
so
James.
we have
Wait.
James, who's been a part of our team. So see, proof. But we really had to, as a female-owned business, I think, have a lot of conversations about our value and being confident in the services that we were providing. We have a funny story. When we were negotiating our contract with the Romney campaign for president, Kristen and I had a rule that when we were negotiating contracts, we were always in the same room. And the reason is like, we can just look at one another or pass notes or whatever and kind of read where we think this is going to go. And we didn't for this contract negotiation for logistical reasons. And they threw out a number, and it was twice what we were going to propose. And we paused because we were surprised, but also we weren't sure who was going to respond. And they immediately said, "Oh my God, we offended you. That wasn't enough money." And we said, "Well, maybe
It's not.
It's not. It's great. It's great." And they said, "Okay, well, we'll give you." You know, they raised their amount, and I think it was just a really good lesson for us that, you know, it was a blessing that we weren't together, because we learned that we could charge more than what we had been charging, and that these people thought that they were still underpaying us. So it's a good lesson for, I think, especially women-owned entrepreneurs, that sometimes women aren't the best at being their own advocates and being confident.
And to really own your brand and own your own space and be confident about it. Been there, done that. I think that one of the biggest things that we've learned as we've transitioned out of our young 20s, starting a business, to now being moms and having a successful business, is that you can say no to things. You can say no to projects. In our partnership, we've always had a rule that it's a veto rule. If one of us didn't feel comfortable taking on a client or a project and said, "No, I can't sleep at night working for that individual or working for that nonprofit," we don't take it on. So that's just a little rule that we've always had. At the end of the day, you know, we always have one another and we have our brand, and so making sure that we navigated that, and, you know, as we go through all these different projects that we've worked on, we can check off things that we've wanted to do and look down the road.
And then this kind of speaks to how we operate, I think, every day, and also as we look into the future. One of our biggest things that when we were interviewing one another and doing our year of dating, as we call it, to see if this partnership was really going to work, we made a ground rule of how we would get out of it. And I think that probably is the most reassuring thing that we did, and probably the best advice that I would give to people starting their own business, is to lay the groundwork for how you're going to operate, but how do you get out? And for us, we always said that as long as both of us loved it, we would continue to do it, and the minute that it became a job, we were out. But that we really do this because we believe in our brand. We believe in the service we provide to our clients. We find it fulfilling that we are good stewards of donors' investments, and that it is something that we love. And as long as that continues to be the case, we'll continue to run this business.
And as I always tell Katie, you know, for me personally, it's election night. There's a lot that goes into an election, and the night, is the culmination of everything. And at the end of the day, you either win or you lose. Your client wins or they lose, and hopefully you've raised enough money for them to meet their budget. But I've always said if I don't get chills on election night and feel kind of that tingling and excitement, then I know that I'm probably ready to move on. But that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. So thank you. We focused a lot on a partnership, just given the vast, group. But we're happy to talk about fundraising and our business model or anything that's helpful to you all as well. So thank you for having us.
Thanks.